welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian. I hope you guys are having a great week. Last week, I was MIA, and I did hear it from all of y'all, which I love, I have to admit. Christian, when are you gonna post a new video? Hey, am I missing the video? Why haven't you posted a video today? And so on and so forth. Well, I had somewhat of a mental, emotional roadblock last week, so let's unpack that. Last week, I had a lot on my mind in regards to where I am in my life now. Okay, I know we all have those days, and to my credit, when I think back to about a year ago, I used to pray that I would be in the position that I am now. A year ago, I wanted to be free from the constraints of a corporate job. That's one. And even though that was not like my choice, I didn't quit my job, I was laid off. Be careful what you wish for, okay? Two, I was praying that I would be living in Houston, which I am now. I knew that I wanted to be able to create content on multiple platforms, which I am, both YouTube and Instagram. And I wanted to be 30 pounds lighter, which I am, etc., all the things, right? And I don't usually have a problem applauding myself for how much I've grown, but when you're in the thick of questioning your path, when you are in the thick of self-doubt and even at times limiting beliefs, negative self-talk, it is very difficult recalling just how far you've come in the midst of all that is not always the easiest thing to do. So last week I took a trip down a rabbit hole, and I've been down those rabbit holes before. We can just go ahead and nickname it a shame spiral. There is a really big chance that you've been in this situation as well. I want you guys to tell me in the comments if any of what I'm about to say sounds familiar or resonates with you, okay? 1, you find yourself stressing over the things that you don't have versus being able to express gratitude for the things that you do have. 2, instead of focusing on things that are within your control, you tend to set your focus on things that are way out of your control and quite frankly are none of your business, have nothing to do with you, just way out there. And 3, you tell yourself lies about who you are, what you're capable of, instead of engaging in positive self-talk. Okay, I could list so many more things that I've done and things that probably resonate with you, but for me, those are the things that I find happen the most when I'm going down my little shame spiral. So eventually, I did snap out of my little mental, emotional roadblock. I got out of that downward spiral. But when you're not careful with the things that you choose to speak over your life, it's very easy for one single thought to turn into a belief that you have about yourself to then turn into a constant state of mind. What I want to talk to you guys about today is something that I like to call the power of one. So, what is the power of one? The best way that I know how to explain this concept is by using the phrase small efforts daily. It's about recognizing that all it takes is one small thing, one small step, one small idea to really make an impact in our lives. And I think we can all relate to this concept when it comes to negativity. Sometimes all it takes is one shift in our schedule. We have this entire day planned out of what we're gonna do, what we're gonna accomplish. One thing gets thrown off and now we can't do anything. That really shows you the power of one on a more negative standpoint. But what I really want you guys to get from this and to utilize moving forward is that when you're in a shame spiral, when you find that something is just throwing off your day, I want you to focus on the power of one in a positive light. When I think of the power of one for my life, I think about it in a number of ways. And one of the first is in the power of focusing on one thing at a time. What I've learned with myself is that the ability to focus on one task, one idea, one person, one place, one thing at a time is freeing. And oftentimes it is so much more realistic than what we actually make ourselves do. When I'm thinking about one thing, it could be creating great content for you guys. And this was a big part of what I was going through last week was, oh my gosh, I need a better camera. I need a better background. I need to get some more clothes so I can have outfits to switch up. And oh my goodness, I didn't even get to post a video this week. And I'm gonna fall off. And all of that was becoming limiting to me. It was negative self-talk. It was me focusing on not one thing at a time, but everything all at once. Some things which I couldn't do anything about. Some things that I could do something about if I just make a plan and take my time and be patient with myself. But instead of focusing on one thing at a time, instead of using the power of one in that moment, I took everything and I put it on my shoulders and I ran with it. When you find yourself in that position, I want to encourage you to give yourself an opportunity to focus your energies into one thing. Figure out in that moment, okay, I know I've got a list of a million things that I need, want, gotta do, and what is my next best step? That is the one thing that you should be focusing on. And when you give yourself the opportunity to focus your energies in on that one thing, we are much more likely to succeed. When you make your to-do list at the beginning of the day and you have about 10, 15, 20 things on that to-do list, focus truly on one thing at a time. As difficult as it is, you look at your list and you see your whole day on a sheet of paper. Focus on one thing at a time. When you are able to check something off, that gives you a confidence boost. It gives you the confidence that you need and the momentum that you need to get the next thing done, and the next thing done, and the next thing done. But in the moment, I want you to focus on what you're doing. I want you to focus on one thing at a time. Use the power of one in that moment. And then when you're ready to move on, think to yourself, what is my next best step? Not my next 5 or my next 10, what I have to get done by the end of the day, all of these things that tend to bombard our minds. Think about what your next best step is and get going. Another way that I use the power of one in my life is with movement. In my life personally, what I mean is feeling as though I'm moving forward in my life. I struggle a lot with focusing on the future and focusing on things that I don't even need to worry about yet because I'm not there in my life, but I'm always thinking about the future, and I do have a hard time sticking to the present and what is happening now in the moment. What can you do right now in this moment to propel you not just forward, but one step forward into your next best thing? I know how easy it is to get caught up in all of the things that we want to do from now till years from now. It's very easy to get caught up in all of our hopes for the future, and sometimes hope for the future turns into anxiety in regards to what we don't yet know. I have to say again, the power of one is something that we really don't talk about enough, especially in regards to moving forward in our lives. The truth is that even just one single step in the right direction is better than standing still. And what happens when we allow our minds to be completely overwhelmed with everything we have to do? And most of the time, what we have to do are things we feel like we have to do, and it's really not our truth. when we allow the uncertainty of the future to take over our minds. We think that we're moving forward, but really we're standing still and we're holding this extremely heavy weight that we just were not built to handle. So I really want to encourage you guys to utilize this every day. You don't even have to be going down a shame spiral like I was. You don't have to be going down a rabbit hole of anxiety or negative self-talk. Be patient with yourself. Be good to yourself. Engage in positive self-talk as much as you can. And even just in your daily lives, when you're working to get things done, to scratch things off your list, always come back to the power of one. And if you ever find yourself going down a shame spiral, think about this concept and allow it to lift some of that burden off of you so that you can move forward and take your next best step. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to my videos every Wednesday. As always, feel free to connect with me on all of my social media. I've listed it down below. You can follow me on Instagram at @TheChristianSpear. I hope you guys have an awesome week. Till next time.